So I saw this video recently showing how to create good looking grass from just a few grass billboards, and I think it can really be applied to OctoShaper, and the same concept can be done also in OctoShaper. So let's try to recreate that. I think first we want to have first few points distributed so we can start from something. Okay, so we have some points on a grid, right? This is gonna be our grass clusters. So for each I would like to sample, I think, in a disk. So if we sample one, yeah, so for each now we are sampling inside a disk, and maybe we want a bit more, not too much, yeah. So here it's a bit more organic, right? Now let's so in the sample there are multiple billboards for each, so I think we want to duplicate. So here we are gonna repeat each one twice. So now they're repeated twice, and basically we want to apply a random rotation, right? So we're gonna set a random rotation to the rotation attribute, and we're gonna go from minus 80 to 180, and you can see they are randomly rotated, which is great. But maybe, yeah, let's have a preview first. Let's spawn a prefab, and I have a prefab already done for the grass. Let me grab it. Yeah, this one, very basic. Let's have it here. Okay, so yeah, we have something like that. Oh, we can see it's inside the ground, so maybe we can move this up a bit. Yeah, like this. Okay, so we have some clusters. We can see the clusters of roots, and it's randomly under random rotation. It's not too bad already. I think we can go further. What we could probably do, okay, first let's tweak a bit. I think we want more repetition to have bigger clusters. We can also, yeah, we can have a random scale, so we can jitter the scale, and the minimum scale is gonna be 1. We want the scale to be uniform, and the maximum, maybe let's set the minimum to 0.5 and the maximum to 1. Yeah, so now we can see some variation in the size. Yeah, I think we want more density, so we can sample more like that. Yeah, I think it's already looking pretty natural. One thing I'd like to try also is to apply a noise, and based on this noise the grass is gonna be more or less high. So let's try to do this. Maybe before jittering the scale, yeah, here. So we have our elements, and we're gonna assign a noise value to each element. Let's connect here based on the position. So let's select the position attribute of each element with a very low frequency, I think. And we can check this here. So the noise is generated for each element. Okay. And here we want to, I think, send this noise to the scale jitter. So we want to create a vector3 attribute max scale maybe, and the max scale is gonna be based on, let's say, our noise, and each component is gonna be based on that. Okay, and okay, so here we are. We can plug this here. Now we have some noise. Let's check the max scale is good. Yes, so we have our max scale. Max scale. So now inside our jitter scale, we can set our max scale. Okay, and actually the max scale might be a bit low because the range for the noise is -1 to 1. So we can probably, here we can add 1 to our noise. So let's do that. Let's add 1 to our noise. So let's select our noise. And let's add 1. And the result is gonna be noise. We send it back here. Okay, so here it might not be super visible. Yeah, if we change the frequency, we can see a change here, right? We can see a change based on the noise. Yeah, this feels a bit more natural. Maybe with a bit more density, it might look better. We could just reduce the spacing, right? So let's create something. Well, I already have this set up. Let's use the spacing parameter. Let's plug that in. Yeah, a bit more dense. I think I want even more. Oh yeah, and the size, let's assign the size that I already created. But let's make this, yeah, 10 was good. I think we want more. Yeah, this is looking good. But yeah, so in the video he's talking about the fact that, yeah, when you look at the top, you can see that those are billboards, so it's not looking great. So we can probably jitter the rotation just a bit. So let's jitter the rotation. So we're just gonna rotate. Actually, we want to rotate only on those. Probably -20. Let's try this. Here. So if we look at the top here, it's a bit more organic, right? It's a bit more believable. From the side, it's going in the ground. We can make this a bit higher. Like that. And here, yeah, I like it. I like it. There are some holes, but yeah, it depends what you want to create. You have some areas that are a bit more dense. Maybe an interesting thing could be to increase the amplitude, like the impact of the noise. So let's say our noise we are adding, but we can multiply it also. So let's multiply our noise. We are adding, let's multiply it now. Multiply by float. Okay. Let's multiply the noise here by 2. And of course this needs to go back to the noise here. So I have something like this, which is, yeah, I don't know. It is believable. It is believable. And you can play with the values directly and see the impact of the noise actually on the generation. Now, of course, for spawning and displaying a lot of grass like this, spawning a prefab is not the best option. So OctoShaper handles this scenario pretty well, because you can choose other style of instancing rendering, and you can render directly using draw instanced or draw instanced indirect. In our case, the most efficient is going to be the indirect solution. And if you do that, you're gonna draw everything in a single batch, and it's gonna be the most optimized for this use case. So for the mesh, we're gonna have a quad. For the material, we're gonna use a custom material. So you're gonna have to design a custom material that handles instancing, but you're gonna have way better performance for your drawing. And this does basically the same. So you can basically swap and you have the same rendering, but now you are just not gonna instance anything. So if we go to our scene now, we have a procedural graph executor that's gonna execute our grass graph, and yeah, it automatically handles the instancing you are choosing inside the graph. So in our case, the draw instanced indirect, and as you can see, there's nothing instanced inside the scene. It's procedurally drawing, which is very efficient, and so here you can still move your parameters, and it's gonna regenerate on the fly. You can choose the spacing, and yeah, you can, like this, tweak directly inside your scene your procedural object, and yeah, and here we get very decent performance for what it is. If I launch, yeah, we can see the rendering, and the CPU is really not struggling at all. And so this is a very good base for a small procedural world that would require a lot of grass. So yeah, I'll create more tutorials, and there's a lot more coming up, but feel free to comment, and if you have ideas of new tutorials or things you want to see in OctoShaper, then yeah, let me know, and I'll try to do my best and create some other tutorials for you. But yeah, see you in the next one. Bye!